Can you smell it in the air? Finally, the long weekend is upon us. But before we get to that, is Johannesburg's vacant, derelict civic centre the ultimate monument for the Metro's perceived legacy of poor service delivery? What a mouthful. While a recent inspection by DA mayoral candidate Helen Zille has re-exposed the centre's long-standing problems, like its piles of unprocessed archive files and old building plans just gathering mould. This didn't happen overnight though, as News 24's journalist Alex Patrick has been demanding answers about the Metro Centre's future for years.
I mean, these stories really write themselves. So the Economic Development MMC visited on Tuesday, and this was her quote to us. During today's inspection, city leadership raised serious concerns regarding the condition in which the files and plans are being stored. Well, they are the ones storing the files. I don't know why everyone is so shocked. This is what we've been saying. This is what the Heritage Foundation have been warning about. And this is what the city has been promising us for years that they would fix.
Finally, later in the show, a meeting of African leaders, one black, one white, happened in a mobile home in the bushveld on this day in South African history.
To know when the next episode drops, hit the like, follow, and subscribe buttons on our YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast channels.
In Rauby's Pointless Braai quiz for today, here's our very easy, I'm somewhat giving it away at this point. What's the official date for the local government elections? I'll give you that answer a little later. My name's Graeme Robenheimer, this is The Lead, and this is the South African story. Moving to our top story today, well, when she's not sitting all hours of the night slogging it out in News 24's Randburg newsroom, she's firing off memes and also hitting the various Jozi politicians' campaign trails. She's our great Metro journalist. It's Alex Patrick. Welcome back to The Lead. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. All good here.
Look, tell us, what is this Johannesburg Metro Centre in Braamfontein? What is its normal sort of like admin offices for the city? Or like what type of services is held there? Let's sort of get that out of the way first so people aren't like left confused about, why it's so critical for us.
Exactly. And on that note, let's call it the Civic Centre, because when you say Metro Centre, Johannesburg doesn't know what you're talking about because they're renting buildings all over the place. They just don't know and cannot answer questions. So this is basically your nerve centre for any city or town. It's really where your city leaders are sitting. It's where your town planning gets done. It's basically the hub of the city. It also usually holds the council. And I believe this one hosts about 48,000 Metro employees.
Right. So, I mean, tenders are managed there in terms of the tender documents, housing plans, building plans. If you want to build on for your house, you would have to go and, back in the day, put your documents there, get them signed off, before digitization was a thing. And I mean, we're so far behind in this regard, are we not?
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just in terms of your planning, etc. I mean, I've heard the same thing for your rates. We are so far behind in terms of digitizing any of our records. And it's not because we don't have the equipment. I believe we just don't have the will to do so.
And I've got to agree with you. Take us back to that transformer fire inside the building back in 2023. I mean, Alex, you were reporting on this for News 24 back then. Thousands of municipal staff had to vacate at the time. What did they leave behind? What was physically left there?
Yes, September 2023 is when they got booted out. This was the second fire of its kind. It was a transformer fire. The building does have issues. It does have issues. They are not insurmountable, however. The staff, what they've told me is that they had no clue what had happened. They got an email to say, don't come back to work on Monday. So some of them left everything behind and had to go back and get computers after a few weeks. But basically, the offices are exactly how they left them. Not only did they leave all the documents there, they also left valuable artworks, which were removed after some of our stories. But it was left exactly as it was.
In the meantime, I mean, it's Joburg city central, and you're going to get opportunistic thieves wanting to break in, people looking for shelter. I mean, you know, it's been a free-for-all. Take us inside the state of the building now. If one had to walk through it.
Absolutely. And let's remember it's in Braamfontein, and it was created as a kind of space of movement. So it allows for people to move through and under the precinct. There were areas in the precinct that had been broken into and actually burnt to the ground. Vandals had used the flooring to keep themselves warm. Same with the documents. We saw at the time that the office had been broken into, the glass was smashed. And really, I mean, we could walk through the whole place. Nobody would have known that we were there. And I assume that's exactly what many people have done. At present, and what we've seen from the photos is dusty files, moldy files. There are some leaks. I don't know how anybody would find a document. We know that the city said that from now on, if you do need your plans, they will go and get them. There is absolutely no filing system. Just imagine a ground piled with documents stacked on top of each other, graying with dust.
And Alex, I mean, let's be clear, the Metro Centre, or the Civic Centre as we know it, is not alone in terms of the upkeep of general sort of municipal buildings within the Johannesburg Metro demarcated surrounds. I remember back in lockdown, I went down there to the Randburg Civic Centre with the local ward councillor, the DA's David Potter. I mean, we found stacks and stacks of people's physical copies of driver's license applications, gathering dust in the bottom of the Randburg Civic Centre. I mean, it seems like it's not just the Civic Centre. I mean, that this is the norm, really, for most of the municipal buildings across the metro.
Sadly, it does seem to be the norm. And what you had seen there, unfortunately, is still the case. We went there at the end of last year, and we saw, shopping trolleys full of files. And if you do page through them, it's people's personal information, ID numbers, cell phone numbers, their addresses, etc. I don't know what the aversion is, although I could probably think of one or two things, to digitizing the content. But we certainly do have an aversion to doing it.
I remember at the time the city gave me a response, this was 2020, saying, they're about to move towards digitization. That was going to happen within the month. I mean, that felt like a lie at the time.
Unfortunately, it appears so, because they've been digitizing for years now, and we're still in the same place. Nobody knows, because we don't get a straight answer. We just get told, yes, it's happening. We're busy doing it right now. And they've been busy doing it for years.
Okay. And it obviously feels quite evident in the fact that now, the DA's mayoral candidate, Helen Zille, has brought all of this back to the fore. Here she goes with Leah Knott, her DA colleague, to inspect the Civic Centre in Braamfontein. She goes on this walkabout. When she tries to leave, she's stopped by the Joburg Metro Police. And of course, it attracts all the media to come out. But I mean, it reopens the story that, you've been on for the longest time. What did these inspections reveal, if anything? It just reaffirmed the fact that all of these papers and files continue to gather dust and mould, right?
Well, exactly. And since our visit, which was November 2024, in December 2024, the Metro Centre said that they would from now on work on moving those documents. Again, in 2025, they said they would be moving the archives. It appears that this has not happened. When I spoke to them on Tuesday, very late, I might add, in the evening when they got back to me, they said that there were some that they had moved and were busy moving to Carr Street. And they said, from now on, if you want to get your plans, this will be possible. And let's not forget why you need those plans and why that's so important. You cannot sell your house. You cannot add on to your house. You cannot make sure that you are following bylaws without those plans. It's a big problem.
Yeah, and if you even look at, some of the people responding to Helen Zille's viral video in the comment section, I think there's like 3 parts or whatever the case. People are responding saying, thank you, finally you get to see what, us as real estate agents or, as conveyancy lawyers or, whatever have had to deal with for the longest time. I mean, what is Helen Zille promising here? In terms of, is it just, hey, we here to expose this, or did she offer any real solutions? I think that's also a credible question to ask. We are in election season. It's not enough that these PR stunts, have to happen. What are your solutions? Let's hear them. I think is a very genuine journalistic question to ask at this point, is it not?
No, absolutely. And again, we must say this is a very easy win for the DA. All they have to do is walk around and say, look here, we can fix it. Look there, we can fix it. But in all honesty, and as Zille has herself said, it is going to take years to reverse the damage that is done. She has said that with the right leadership, and that probably means terminating a lot of the heads of the entities, that there may be an improvement seen within 5 years. 10 years, though, there would be an improvement. That's if they get re-elected, if people aren't discouraged by the fact that there isn't a turnaround after 5 years. And it's going to take a very, very long time to reverse the damage that has been done. Notwithstanding
the fact that the city's budget is very much stretched, right? Although it is one of the biggest for a metro in South Africa, it is super stretched. I mean, they're going to struggle to find the money to refurbish this particular building. But what is the actual plan as it stands under Mayor Dara Morero's current stewardship? What is really the plan at the moment? I understand it's another feasibility study to understand what should happen next, right?
Another one, and we've been doing them. So it's either a refurbishment, which at this point would be 1 billion rand, because they've found that the building is actually structurally sound. It does need a few fixes here and there, obviously, but it is structurally sound. But what the government seems to be leaning towards is a replacement of the building, and that is estimated to be about 3 billion rand. Necessary, I don't believe it is, and our budget is the biggest. However, it's unfunded, which means, of course, that we do not bring in enough money to cover our budget, which means essentially that the city is bankrupt. Where we're going to find the extra money to build a brand new building is anyone's guess.
And in the meantime, also elicited responses from, civic society. We've had the Joburg Heritage Foundation as well as the Joburg Crisis Alliance basically coming out and going kind of, look, we told you so for the longest time. You need to really pull finger here and do something. Is there really a sense of urgency from the city now? There was one MMC, visiting the site during the course of this week. What are they actually promising at the moment in terms of an interim solution for those files and moving them to Carr Street?
This, to me, is really why I wrote the story, because I find the irony. I mean, these stories really write themselves. So the Economic Development MMC visited on Tuesday, and this was her quote to us. During today's inspection, city leadership raised serious concerns regarding the condition in which the files and plans are being stored. Well, they are the ones storing the files. I don't know why everyone is so shocked. This is what we've been saying. This is what the Heritage Foundation have been warning about. And this is what the city has been promising us for years that they would fix.
If you look at all of what's been going on in Johannesburg, I feel like this example of the civic centre being left to like rack and ruin is the ultimate metaphor for the entire situation that we're sort of sitting in. It's the monument to the issues that Joburg has been belied with for the longest time. I feel a deep sense of frustration, not only on the part of residents, just everyone across the board. It's going to take a hell of a long time to try and fix.
And you know what? You're right. It is a metaphor. It's sitting at the highest point of the city. We all look up to this building. It is the nerve center of the economic hub of our country, and it is derelict and broken. If that does not tell you anything about the people who actually are supposed to be working in there, then I don't know.
All right, Alex, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much. Good luck on the campaign trails. I hope you keep your sense of mental balance, because it's going to be a couple of hectic weeks and months as we lead up to the elections, right? Keep well.
Pray for me. Thank you.
Looking for a smarter weekend scroll? The Weekender is your ultimate guide to bold stories, sharp opinion, and a fresh lens on life in Mzansi. From exclusive interviews and powerful essays to wine picks, playlists, and pop culture gems, it's your perfect weekend read all in one place, landing every Saturday on News 24. And finally,
ending off now with On This Day in South African History. That's courtesy the SA History Online database. A meeting of African leaders, one black, one white, happened in a mobile home in the bushveld on this day, the 30th of April, 1982 in SA history. The two men in question were the then apartheid Prime Minister P.W. Botha, he'd later become the official state president from 84 onwards, and the Zambian leader Kenneth Kaunda. The pair met to chat in this mobile home in a remote place literally on the border of South Africa as well as Botswana to discuss Pretoria's hold, considered illegal at that time by the United Nations, over the then Southwest Africa, which today is known as Namibia. The last time anything of this magnitude happened was when Kaunda had himself shaken hands with the then former Prime Minister John Vorster in 1976. In this event we're referencing today, the pair spoke for about 4 hours, but in the end, they agreed to release only 4 sentences to the public, which also did not reveal anything that they had agreed upon or even disagreed upon. Among the topics they spoke about included the independence of Namibia, the future of political and racial relations in apartheid South Africa, overall regional security, and even some personal rapport was touched upon. Botha apparently asked Kaunda about his grandchildren. Kaunda came in for stark criticism back home for simply agreeing to the meeting. What happened in that caravan? Perhaps a story for another time. In Rauby's Pointless Braai quiz for today, what's the official date for the local government elections? That's been promulgated from today. It's the 4th of November. President Ramaphosa had made the announcement at a meeting of mayors and premiers in Ekurhuleni today. This ultimately means one thing, that the clock is ticking. And it's fewer than 190 days now until the polls are set to open. So, really, expect to see election posters go up in your suburb very soon. And also expect to hear a false promise and a lie or two. Graeme, you're being too cynical. Bring on that long weekend. The Lead's back with you on Monday at 7 p.m. In the meantime, if you'd like to get in touch with us, drop us a mail at thelead@24.com or simply leave us a comment below. It's been an absolute pleasure ventilating these topics with you. Until then, my name's Graeme, and so long as there's trusted news first, we'll have The Lead.